Alright, moving on then, coming to you, Ria, you picked up
solar projects of 126 megawatts in Madhya Pradesh, and they have managed to do this within a period of just 26 months. Now, this EPC contract, which was worth rupees 596 crores, was awarded by NHTC Limited to the company. And with this achievement, now TPREL's total renewable implementation and its operational capacity has also reached 5.3 gigawatts, comprising 4.3 gigawatts of solar and 1 gigawatt of wind energy projects. Reacting to this news, the stock is now up 1.7% in trade, so definitely keeping an eye out on Tata Power on the back of this.
Okay, so that's Tata Power itself. The stock has in fact more than doubled itself. It's it's been rallying ever since. Do you expect this rally to continue, or now is it some time for this the stock to slow down a little bit?
Absolutely, chemical stocks are buzzing and they are coming back to life after a long time. So, after such brutal correction, the stock hasn't been affected very much by the fall. And after a brief correction, now stock is again heading towards higher levels. So, by keeping stop loss of 1200, the outlook for the stock looks positive and upside levels are 14.
After an earnings candidate that is in focus today, and that is Nalco, which is in focus on the back of its earnings. Let's look at the scorecard then. A good set of results coming in for Nalco. In fact, it has given up those warning gains, but nonetheless, it's in the green, trading with gains of 0.7%. The revenue has seen an uptick of 40% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, expansion of 600 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis at 38.7% versus 32.7%. And on the back of a good set of results, Nalco is in focus today, currently holding on to gains of 0.7%.
Okay, so that's why Nalco is on the back of its quarter two numbers. But Aditya, you've picked out Geo Financial. Looks like because the last 6 months we've seen a 10% decline coming in the stock price. So what's the outlook going ahead now?
I think still good enough compared to the fall which we are seeing in last 60 days. So after testing important support level today, the stock is bouncing. I think Fibonacci support for the stock, and we have seen stock taking resistance over there, support over there. So that's a friction point for the stock. Until and unless 290 is not broken, one can maintain a positive bias on this counter with upside levels like 325 to 3.
Hi there, welcome back to Market Fatafat. You're watching ET now. Thanks so much for staying tuned, and let's keep it going with all the big buzzers then. And let's talk about a stock that's gaining in excess of more than 4% right now, and that's SpiceJet, because SpiceJet has paid off 8.8 million, which roughly translates to 763 crore Indian rupees, dispute with the Export Development Canada for a total of 22.5 million. So on the back of this deal, they've actually saved a whopping $68.3 million. So it's come in at a discount of 574 crores for the company. They've saved that money. C financed Q400 aircraft, and with Q400 aircraft, SpiceJet plans to launch in additional flights on regional and UDAN routes, and SpiceJet also plans to roll out another 18 flights in phases as more Q400 aircraft have now returned to SpiceJet's service. So very positive news flow coming in, a very steep.
Vodafone Idea is in focus today in the back of its earnings. Ria, tell us what does the earning look like?
Yes, absolutely. Vodafone Idea has reported a 4% uptick in the revenue this time around. The net loss has come in at rupees 7,176 crores versus a loss of rupees 6,432 crores. Now, if you talk about the customer ARPOX of the M2M, that has improved to rupees 166 versus rupees 154, up around 7.8% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Now, on the back of this, JP Morgan has maintained their neutral stance on the stock with a target price of rupees 10, saying that even though there was a reaction, is largely going to depend on the management's commentary on the update on the debt funding side. But as of now, the stock is trading marginally in the green. So we're keeping an eye out on Vodafone on the back of this.
Okay, so brokerage note coming in for Vodafone and numbers as well. So that's the reason why. But what's the outlook going ahead? Do you believe this momentum can sustain for the stock on the charts at least?
I think Info Edge has been an absolute outperformer. The rally which we have seen in last few weeks and months is very stellar. I think the momentum can again be regained if stock cross and is consolidating in a narrow range despite the brutal fall in the market. This stock is showing resilience, so that is a good sign. So let's wait for the stock to break 8,200, then we can turn a bias positive.
Okay, so that's the outlook coming in up 3.1% on a year-on-year basis. But while revenues have clocked in again, you have the PAT, the EBITDA as well as the EBITDA margins that have recorded a reversal this time around. Net profit is coming at 481 crores compared to 526 crores, which is down 8.5% year over year. EBITDA is also on a year-on-year basis, and EBITDA margin has slightly shrunk this time, coming in at 16.8% versus 17.5%. That's a downtick of roughly 70 bips on a year-on-year basis. So revenue looking good, but the other three metrics are in the negative this time around. On the back of that, the stock is under steep pressure today, 4.5% lower.
A mixed set in this quarter. Now the revenue has jumped up around 12.5% sequentially. The EBIT has also gone up around 9.5% over the previous quarter. But on the net profit side, we've seen a downtick of around 3% sequentially, and the EBIT margins have also come in at 13.2% versus software and Aureus and the creation of their Gen AI business unit as well. And they've also hired new leaders and created 6 separate industry groups. And on the back of this, the management has commented saying that the full impact of all of these changes will become visible in the revenue and the growth in the quarters ahead. So keeping an eye out on
Minds is in focus, but we also spoke to the management earlier in the day. Venkatraman Narayanan, the MD and CFO, shares his outlook on acquisitions and margins for the quarters coming ahead. Let's go across and listen to what he had to say.
As of now, we are trying to consolidate one GCC which came in, which was Macmillan. So that's nicely growing into the organic piece. We also made inroads into acquiring very good IP, which is Artha Banking. It's a SaaS-ready banking platform which is doing reasonable.
All right, moving on to another earnings candidate, which is Godrej Industries, that is in focus today. In fact, the stock surged nearly 10% in early trade today, but it seems to have given up all those morning gains, and this is on the back of the fact that they are seeing an over twofold rise. Consolidated net profit of 488 crore rupees for the period, a significant jump from the earlier 164 crores in the same quarter last year, making, like I said, a twofold increase. Now, these results represent the second consecutive quarter of more than double the growth in the company's bottom line. Also, the revenue for the company saw from an earlier 6.7% in the previous year. So, good healthy set of numbers coming in. The stock surge 10%, has given up all those gains, has probably profit booking coming in on the counter, is reeling under selling pressure right now with cuts of 1%.
Okay, so that's the reason why Godrej Industries is in focus, but let's shift focus to 0.5% on a year-on-year basis. Net profit is also up 21% year-over-year, coming in at 98 crores compared to 81 crores. The EBITDA is also up 41%, coming in at 69 crores versus 49 crores. And EBITDA margins have also expanded slightly at 6% compared to 5.4%, which is an uptick of more than 50 bips. Continues to hold on to those gains of 1%, was trading slightly higher in the day, but nonetheless continues to be in the positive territory as we speak.
All right, that's Garden Reach trading with gains of 1%, but HAL is another counter that has just reported its Q2 numbers during market hours. Tell us, Ria, what is the...
On the EBITDA front, we've seen a growth of around 7.5% thereabout. EBITDA margins have been largely flat, coming in at 27.4% in this quarter, up around 34 basis points on a year-on-year basis. And this was largely due to the cost of materials consumed that had increased to over rupees 3,000 crores during the September. Growth in net profit was aided by a decline in the finance cost and an increase in the other income as well. And on HAL, they have also appointed Mr. Barenya Senapati as the CFO of the company. So that is why the stock is in focus today, up around 1% right now.
Okay, the show together. Thanks, Aditya, for joining us, and Ria on the show as well. But on that note, we'll bid you goodbye, but you stay tuned to the channel because closing trades takes all the action forward.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.